Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are in week 6 of season 2 of the Cell Ball. Woo!
Whoa.
Uh,
Can you believe we're here?
no,
I just
it's
can't.
almost over. So we have some really exciting news to share with you today, but we will get to that when we get to the gameplay. We have some wonderful information that we're going to be talking about with Mr. Alfonso Ortiz today. He is a return he's a return guest to the show from last year's episodes. And for anybody who doesn't remember or is joining us for the first time, the Cell Bowl is a hematology competition that is based on the NFL style of play. And we have students that are from MLT and MLS programs. That stands for medical laboratory technology or technician, and medical laboratory science programs across the nation of the US that have been competing for the last 6 weeks to see who is going to make it to the Super Cell Bowl.
Whoa. A lot of crazy differentials.
Yes, and this is the biggest reveal episode today because we are going to find out who did make it. So we've been watching all 87 teams go through regionals first in the first 4 weeks. Then we saw the top 6 teams. So the top 2 teams of each region go to nationals. Now we're in the semifinals, which is the second to last week of the whole competition. So Aaron, are you excited to be here and find out who's making it to the Super Cell Bowl?
Speechless. They've been fighting it out. Teams have been stacking up all the Rulo. It's crazy.
Yeah, I put these on in preparation. It's been rough on the Cell Bowl field this year. Oh my goodness.
I'm ready to dip.
Final countdown.
Okay. Sorry. It's the final countdown. Almost to 100. Dun, 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 dun.
If you want to join in, Alfonso, you can. Background.
A little bit of excitement. I'm learning, people. I'm learning.
So we are here with my favorite co-host, well, the other way, favorite co-host, Aaron de Endzone Odegaard. We've got our wonderful warm fireplace going on again. We're enjoying the almost Thanksgiving. And Aaron, can you please introduce for the second time our wonderful return visitor, expert from the bench, Alfonso Ortiz.
Woo! Hey there, guys. How y'all doing?
Yep.
Good seeing you, Aaron. Good seeing you. How you doing? How you guys doing?
Yeah, so Alfonso is part of the group that brings the show together. He's part of the coaching staff for the Cell Bowl too. He has done it all. He's even a jazz musician at times.
What do you play?
But yeah.
Yeah.
What do you play?
I play trombone.
Oh.
So it's every now and then, it's just when the time permits, I'll just go out and do a little improv here and there.
Yeah.
We need to get together. So I play sax.
Nice.
And Aaron, well, Aaron's bass.
I play bass.
Yeah.
There you go.
But Alfonso, he's been everywhere. He has gone from the very beginning to now he's in leadership, and he's been doing so many amazing things. So you can do it all. It's all about that jazz too.
That's right.
Thanks.
So that's really, really awesome. I didn't know that. I would love to sit and talk about that. Okay, but we can't, I guess.
I know, right?
So we were talking about the weather. We went on a little bit of a ski trip right before we started the show. You all may see that on Twitter, so check it out. And the weather is changing like crazy. We've been losing lots of leaves up here in Maryland. As you can see, they've been beautiful, and it's getting really cold. What did I say? It's 37 up here right now.
It's
43 in Texas over here, so
that's crazy.
We're in the 50s. Yeah.
50s. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's freezing for us. Everything shuts down.
That's really crazy. And we're all near the water, so that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and see what we're talking about today. So first of all, I would like to talk about how labulous everybody is today. So I'm wearing my Born to be Labulous shirt, and you can see another version of that here. So this says Born to be Labulous in her hair. Born to be Labulous. And this is hilarious. Cool, because this is my own personal artwork. So I drew this and I drew this one, and that is my handwriting, Born to be Labulous. And this was done on my cell phone. I
it's
drew that
nice.
on my cell
Wow,
phone
nice.
with this little guy right here. So I have S28 Ultra, and I drew it one night just like, oh, let me test out my phone, and I drew this artwork, and I was like, this is really cool. I should sell this because it's really awesome. So if you are feeling labulous and you don't know what that means, or you feel labulous and you do know what that means, it means that you're lab oriented and fabulous. So I think everybody on here is labulous anyway, and that's why I'm wearing my pearls around my screen here, and I'm wearing my labulous shirt. So
very nice.
Yes, we've got hoodies, we've got t-shirts, and all that jazz. We also have some of the Medical Lab Lady Gill logo. That is the polka dotted version up here on your right. Beautiful backpack, and it's one of my favorites.
Hey, and especially with Christmas coming up too.
Yes, that's why I put more on here, so you can see some lab swag. And I think he did that for a reason, because if you zoom in over here, we're lab for the holidays. These are all actual instruments in my lab. So these are some pipettes that I had, and an Erlenmeyer flask, and this is a unit of, I can't tell if it's platelets or plasma, but it is B. It is a B blood type.
Gotta be wearing those glasses.
That's right. And these are real serum separator tubes and plasma tubes. So we've got a red non-additive tube, and this is chemistry, and a green lithium heparin tube. So very, very cool. If you are working the holidays, like I know we do, because the lab is running 24/7. We have a lot of other lab swag that's Christmas oriented or holiday oriented. So this is Merry Labmas. I have a sweater with this as well. My daughter is sick, and been taking care of her, but she's matching me with the other Merry Labmas mug there. We're drinking together. Tea.
Glad you clarified. Me and my daughter drink tea.
So she's 10. We're drinking tea together. She's 10.
Sparkling grape juice.
Yeah. So if you are interested in any great lab swag for all your loved ones this holiday season, or yourself, check out the QR code, the Medical Lab Lady Gill store. We have it all there, and we've got sellable stuff here too. All right, so moving into this week's episodes, back to the bench. We are heading, where are we going this week?
We are going to Texas.
Now, this is very indicative of who we've got here. So, Alfonso, can you tell us a little bit about Texas, since you're a native Texan?
A little bit about Texas. Oh my gosh, what's one of the largest states in the United States? And of course, we have several MLT and MLS programs that we definitely want to highlight. And then of course, part of Texas is like one of my famous, my school, UT Health Science Center. But we want to go ahead and let's begin with one of the first schools is Central Texas College. This MLT program at Central.
Hold on.
I'm
I will
sorry.
zoom in for you.
So she'll help you out.
Oh,
There you go.
I was like, what? No, the MLT program, this is an MLT program in Central Texas College, services the Central Texas region, including Fort Hood and surrounding communities. The students gain experience through clinical rotations at local healthcare affiliates, on-campus simulations, and intensive workshops on specific content areas. The MLT program is a 5-semester, 60 credit hour program with both fall and spring entry available. The first 2 semesters focus heavily on didactic instructions with a blend of coursework and clinical rotations during the final 3 semesters. There we go, Central Texas.
Go Central Texas. And they've been doing some wonderful things down there. I'm not sure if, you know, we're doing a lot of Texas today, so I'm not sure where all these are in relation to each other, but I would presume that they're spread throughout the Texas region. The arrows do not indicate where they are in the state. It's just pointing to Texas. So we are heading back to Texas, going to Grayson College, and Grayson College.
And here's Grayson College.
Has an MLT program that was started almost 50 years ago. So if you want a place that has been doing this for a while, then head on over to Grayson College. Their main stakeholders and affiliates are in the North Texas region, definitely not where I pointed the arrow to. Their hematology class is in the spring semester, so they were very excited to have this opportunity to review cell identification and test their knowledge before they even got there. So, you know, if anybody is a great indication of you can do the Cell Bowl anytime, anywhere, this is them, because they have not even had hematology class yet, and they're doing really great job. Okay. So the program is a 2-year program, and students participate in the Cell Bowl that are in the 2nd year. So I was wrong. They've done it before. It's their 2nd year, so they are well versed in this. My mistake. I didn't read further into it. Their team had a chance to get together as a group, and we'll get a better picture eventually, but I didn't realize that was in there too. Probably should have taken that out. Maybe I should have edited this before we start.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay. All right, Alfonso, back to you. We are heading again back to Texas.
Great state of Texas.
Oh, that's great. It's with your Houston Methodist Hospital Medical Laboratory Science Program. Here, let's zoom in a little bit here.
Beautiful faces there for a second.
Nice.
Yeah, I love their background. They look like they're at a fireplace too.
So the Houston Methodist Hospital Medical Laboratory Science Program is a 12-month professional course of study, which is fully accredited by the National Accrediting Agency for Clinical Lab Sciences. Upon successful completion of this course of study, pretty much they qualify to sit in for the AACP examination. And they're also doing they also are open for spring and fall. So this is our Houston Methodist group, great group of folks. That's a great picture, y'all.
Thank you for competing this year. You all are wonderful, and we look forward to seeing you next year too, seeing you shake up the competition. All right, so if you are interested, what?
You can't count Texas out.
That's right. You can't count them out at all. And especially since we've got another program that is coming on the next slide as well. But if you are in Texas, you're either in North Texas or any central region, you can go ahead and check these programs out. Their websites are here. You can always Google them as well. All right, back to Texas again. Last but not least, Alfonso's most famous program ever and favorite program because of his personal history here. I just wanted to say that these two students were highlighted on the website, and if you want to find out more about them, hit the website up and take a look at them. They're doing great things. All right, back to you, Alfonso.
My home school, yo. My
Yeah.
home school. There you go. Yeah.
Present.
This is our UT Health Science Center here at San Antonio, our MLS program, which is both a bachelor's and master's degree program. It is one of the largest MLS programs in the state of Texas, accepting 50 students per year.
Wow.
That's a very impressive. That is very
Yeah.
Was that how big your class was? Were you in a 50-person class?
It has come a long ways from when I was there.
Wow.
So definitely this program has grown like a lot. And we appreciate all their efforts that they've done to, put into the program for our students, and then how this, affects our medical technology workforce. Of course, these students, they learn to use cutting edge technologies and techniques in the lab profession. And in their second year, they also attend their clinical practicums 5 days a week for a total of 14 weeks, rotating at several of the 41 clinical affiliates throughout Texas, one of them being here at our, UHS hospital. For the duration of the MLS program, for the duration of the MLS curriculum, the students collaborate with other health professionals in various interprofessional activities, and they're fortunate to have an unwavering support of the community and regional hospital systems. In the past decade, 100% of the program has been employed within 3 months of graduation. Very, very great. That is awesome. 25 program students participated in the first National Cell Bowl in last year's Cell Bowl, and placed third in the Midwest region. So great job, UT Health San Antonio.
Really, really great job. Yes, we
Yeah.
are so happy to have you return and play again. I think it was all of Alfonso's support that really made that possible, because he really talked them up last year too. So keep bragging, keep swagging, and keep playing the Cell Bowl. All right, so Aaron, this is closer, well, not really closer, but this is
relatively speaking, yeah.
Relatively near where you are as well. So we're going to hit on over to Louisiana State University.
All right.
Woo, look at them.
Yep, it's the home of one of our coaching staff, Melody Nelson. She's actually from Louisiana. Different program though.
And she's awesome. She's doing amazing things too. Do you know if she came from here?
I don't think she came from here, but her family's in Louisiana. So
very cool.
I'm sure she's familiar with the program. But yeah, so our feature program, Louisiana State University of Alexandria, is an MLT program. It's one that is affordable, which is great, and when you want to get people in there and be able to afford to actually get the education, so that's good. They are NACLS accredited, which I'm learning more about, and that's amazing. Students can finish the program in 2 years or less. It also includes 19 weeks of clinical rotations at approved clinical sites. And then all the lab science courses and curriculum are face-to-face. And the minimum GPA to enter this program is a 2.3. And the program outcome measures have been above the NACLS benchmark for graduation and employment rates. And this university offers a 100% online MLT to MLS bridge program, which is a great resource when you want to continue your education and keep going.
So if you started over at the Texas State colleges and you wanted to do a bridge program that's online, head on over to LSU and you can do that. So that's really great. I think face-to-face is a really great option, especially if you've never done the lab before, or done anything lab related before. And then moving, to an online kind of scenario where you're able to take what you've already learned and hands-on experience and continue your education while you're working as a certified MLT is a really great option. And you can always end up, or usually end up, doing the clinicals at your place of employment, not during employment time. No, it has to be in off hours. You're not allowed to, you're not allowed to do it another way. So we are heading and staying back in Louisiana for the University of Louisiana Monroe. And they've got a great program over there as well.
I think this is where she went to school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to be like Melanie Nelson and do amazing stuff, you're going to see some videos online shortly that she did, and she's amazing. And if you like the hype and you like Melody, then you can go here and be wonderful like her, like these students are going to be.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to take that again, Aaron?
I can. Look at that group. That's a good sized group. Okay, the University of Louisiana at Monroe offers a bachelor's degree program in medical laboratory science. After 4 semesters of prerequisite courses, the ULM MLS professional program consists of 2 semesters on-campus courses and then 2 semesters of practicum rotation where you're in the lab. The ULM MLS students complete their rotations at 20 diverse medical laboratories across the state of Louisiana. The program has a pass rate of 100% and job placement of 100%. So that is awesome.
Wow.
The mission of the university is to seek students who find value in their program and prepare them to compete, succeed, and contribute to the ever-changing global society through transformative education. So if you love this school, come visit their beautiful campus and get a glimpse of life on the bayou.
On the bayou.
On the bayou.
So yes, they have a beautiful facility that you can see here, and really great group. Looks like a big group.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. So, you may like a big classroom or you may like a smaller classroom. Either way, we have the program for you in Louisiana. So check them out. They're doing wonderful things, and you can too.
100% pass rate. Impressive.
That is, that's really impressive. Oh, now we're going from the warm area of the
too cold,
well,
Sydney. Too cold.
I mean, not really actually warm, because you all are in like the 40s and everything. So we're going up to negative temperatures now in Minnesota. Heading over to Hennepin Healthcare Medical Laboratory Science program. You've been seeing a lot of beautiful pictures of them throughout this entire competition. And so I'm sure they look very, very familiar to you. They've been on a lot of the selfie slides. So the Hennepin Healthcare Medical Laboratory Science program is a NACLS accredited MLS program located at the Hennepin Medical Medical Center. That's what HCMC stands for. They are a level 1 adult and pediatric trauma center in the heart of downtown Minneapolis. They're a hospital-based program that provides a huge learning experience that's unique to their interns as they explore routine laboratory testing areas along with specialty areas like toxicology, flow cytometry, and electrophoresis. Their students come from 5 affiliating universities to finish their senior year at the medical center and are selected through a competitive application process. They enroll up to 8 students each year with 2 separate enrollment start dates, August and January. After 9 months of intensive and immersive training in their comprehensive lab, their students are ready to become certified and employed medical laboratory scientists. So if you are in your senior year, these are the seniors, ladies and gentlemen. If you are in your senior year and you are in Minnesota, head on over to this beautiful hospital-based program. You'll get a small, intimate type of classroom where that means, you know, a small ratio of student to educator, and you'll get a wonderful education. And they've been doing great in the Cell Bowl too. So that just goes to show you how fast their fingers work.
Yeah.
All right, so we are back to you, Alfonso. We are in Minnesota again. Don't want to get you too cold, but we did go skiing.
That's true.
So we prepared you. You are up at Lake Superior College now, right on the water.
So it's a little chilly here.
Yeah.
So Lake Superior College, the MLT program at Lake Superior College provides students the knowledge and technical skills to become quality medical laboratory technicians. MLT graduates leave the program prepared for the national certification exams, and they're located on the hill overlooking beautiful Lake Superior in Duluth, Minnesota.
Whoa. So if you don't know where that is, that's over here. So they are in the cold region, and but their state bird is the mosquito. So make sure you are ready when you go on out there. You've got beautiful water. It's fresh water, so you don't need to worry about those sea nettles like you have to worry about in Maryland, where we all are. Maryland and Florida and Texas on the Gulf. You don't have to worry about anything like that. So head on over there, check out their beautiful beaches and their beautiful lab, and learn from the best. All right, we are still in Minnesota, St. Paul College. Aaron, do you want to take this one?
Thank you for bringing me along with you guys. Everyone's in Minnesota right now.
We are, yeah.
It's the place to be.
Welcome to the state.
Yay! Man, okay, so St. Paul College is a medical laboratory technician associate's degree program that has a rich history of producing top-notch graduates that help satisfy the workforce needs of our local or their local laboratory employers. So
well, we're local now. We're in Minnesota.
We've journeyed there, so we are local. Yeah, so we're all struggling with workforce things, so it's great this program is meeting that need. Okay, they've been awarded a multi-million-dollar Department of Labor grant in 2028. So in 2008, the MLT program enhanced their space and provides students with significant hands-on practice in its fully equipped laboratory. Wow, that's nice. Students perform both manual techniques and operate automation in all the lab areas, as well as work with the laboratory information system. So it's important to be familiar with that.
Oh, yeah.
And then after 3 semesters of didactic campus coursework, students are well prepared to enter a clinical experience at local hospitals and clinics where the real-time demands of time, workload volume provide that additional experience. So it's not only the knowledge, but gaining the knowledge of how things work and calling those criticals and the troubleshooting. So the program, not to boast a little bit, but 100% pass rate on the AACP Board of Certification exams. Graduate scores are consistently above the national average in all testing categories, just all of them. The most diverse college in the Minnesota State Colleges and University System, St. Paul College, is a student-oriented institution with support services that help students succeed in high demanding careers. So a pretty spectacular program. And if you want to learn more about them, visit the website. If you're in the area, it's a great program.
Yes. So, and they look like great people. So if you want to head on over to there, I really just have to point out this sweater because I'm loving it. I just ordered a sweater vest with all these sheep. I just hope she's not sleeping in class or anybody around her sleeping in class from counting them.
Oh.
You know. Come on, I just wanted to make that. That was dying to be made. Right?
Pretty good. I hand it to you. Pretty good.
I did though. I ordered a sweater vest with sheep on them, so I'm excited. This will be great. Her and I should take a picture together.
Back to the program.
back to Nebraska.
Nebraska.
All right, so it may be warmer there. We don't know. We're not there yet. They look like they're still a little cold, but just, you know, hanging out in a really nice lab. I'm telling you, all these labs are looking very cool. It's all that grant money they're getting, right?
My gosh, I need some of that grant money.
Yeah. Take notes, Aaron.
I am. How to get money for programs.
So we're in Nebraska now. Central Community College in Grand Island, Nebraska. They are an MLT program, and their students are from the central part of Nebraska.
Wow.
Amazing.
So yeah, they are a NACLS accredited program. All of our programs are in this this competition. And if you want to hang out and draw amazing pictures as presentations, so they've got a
So like
they have a micro scenario happening here there, Aaron. And they're talking about the gram stains. This looks like a little bit of a project or some type of educational situation that maybe they were talking about their program to high school students or something. And then they've got the urinary tract over here. All right. So I'm presuming that they did this, and then they've got a blood poster behind them. So they are the Vikings, and they want to make sure that you do great. So head on over there, check them out on the web, on any type of electronic device. Yeah. And they might have been cell bullying right here too. So she got up, she was done, and headed on over here to take that great
It's
picture.
that throwdown. Once you get the perfect score, you just like mic drop.
That's right. Mic drop, cell bull drop. Back in Nebraska again. We're in the mid-plains this time. Alfonso, since you drove here with me, how about you go ahead and cover them? You know, we're on site, live news.
Get the drive in there. Let's see. Mid-Plains Community College. Let's see. Let's have you scroll down a little bit. There you go. The Mid-Plains Community College Medical Laboratory Technician Program is designed to prepare students for employment in medical clinical research and public health laboratories. The technician collects or receives patient specimens, performs many general laboratory tests, records data, reports results to physicians to aid in the diagnosis and treatment of disease. The MLT program combines academic general education with a concentration in basic life sciences, didactic studies in medical laboratory science, and clinical training at hospital laboratories. It is a 2-year program, 4 semesters and 1 summer session of full-time study. Students with previous college work may apply for advanced placement pending evaluation of transcripts. So upon completion of the academic and clinical requirements, they are awarded an associate's degree program. So this is an associate's degree program, and become eligible to take the national certification examination. So, man, great group of people. Mid-Plains Community College.
Yes, they are doing great stuff. And they look like they may be a small program too, if this is their team and that's everybody. I don't know. But we see a lot of really great intimate programs here where you've got a great student to faculty ratio. And for anyone who's doing lab for the first time, that can be really great one-on-one type of feel and attention. Oh, Aaron, You've got one of our top 6 here,
What?
right? Well, yeah, so we already knew they were part of the top 3, right? So we find out if they made it or not to the Super Cell Bowl today. Ooh,
Oh gosh.
yeah. So
The
no
suspense.
pressure or anything, but you need to represent them well.
Oh gosh. These are a dynamic group. Come in Nebraska, they do not play around with football. My dad lives there. They do not play around. They're hardcore with their hematology football. So
They look
Southeast,
hardcore. Look at their
oh yeah,
scores. They're
oh yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
They got their
Lots
game
of white
faces on.
areas.
They got their dipping faces. They're
They
ready to
do.
go. So Southeast Community College.
I mean, this girl
So
brought a
yeah,
she
Very
got
there.
injured on the field, and then she started,
she's still
still
out
cell
there.
bowling with it. She's
Hmm.
taking it seriously.
You got to keep playing. Got
You
to
got
keep
to keep
playing.
playing.
Keep dipping for our patients.
That's right.
Identify those cells. Man, so Southeast Community College, their MLT program, it's an associate's degree program that offers a hybrid and in-person learning, giving also long-distance students the opportunity to attend this highly regarded program. So that's an essential thing. If you can't get to the campus to actually have the opportunity to learn and help with some rural areas, so that's great. So while only having to be on campus for 1 to 2 days a week, it's not bad. And then their diverse faculty have years of both laboratory experience and laboratory education. They bring this unique assortment of educational techniques to accommodate various learning styles. So we all learn a little different. I'm more tactile, but so it's good to be able to do that. The students learn to apply their knowledge during clinical rotations at multiple hospitals and clinicals throughout Nebraska, allowing for professional networking for career placement. And that's important. I always tell my students that it's a job interview, right? When you get there, you got to network and represent. So they encourage and support collaboration with healthcare facilities who would like to sponsor students or provide scholarship opportunities. So students participate in community-focused educational events and collaborate with other healthcare programs during a division-wide interprofessional education simulation. It's important to remember you're not in a silo, so it's awesome that they're getting them networking, communicating with other members of the healthcare team. And then they also, not surprisingly, they have a 100% pass rate for the ASV Board of Certification exams and a 100% job placement.
Wow.
Yeah, so they are dynamic. And if you want to go here and you're in Nebraska, the website is right there. Check them out.
All right. So Nebraska, wonderfully represented here. Is everybody ready to leave Nebraska?
I think it's time.
I think it's time to.
I'm too cold.
I think, yeah,
Wait.
we're ready to get to
Are you ready?
the nitty gritty. Ready for what?
Are you ready to sell ball?
Yes, I'm ready to cell bowl. It'll be a blast.
Let's have a blast.
Let's have a blast.
I'm ready to count them all. Wait, oh.
Alfonso, are you ready to cell bowl?
I am so ready to sell, Bo. Let's do this.
Let's do it. All right, so we are in week 6 and we are almost to the end. Okay, so before we get to the stats, we're going to talk about the global event here. So far it's only been the US. And we have some lab swag to hand out today. So we got the beautiful fanny pack. You're going to be a stylish hematology hero as you are facing the world head on in the hills of wherever you're going or in the urban streets. You can be taking a water bottle or a cell phone, just make sure you're safe, and a wallet. You can put a lot in here. It's a really great thing. Rana, Rana Malin Dennis in Texas, Alfonso, if you know her, you can hand this to her. You won the beautiful fanny pack. Congratulations and well done on your score. In order to get any of this lab swag, you have to beat my perfect score of 58.895 seconds. Woo, and she did. So go ahead, sport your lovely lab swag and tell everybody how you got it, because you did amazing job. Michaela Hicks in Oklahoma, you get the CellAVision lunchbox. Maybe Rana might take you out to lunch sometime if you all meet up in the middle. And then we've got the entertainment part of that lunch date is going to be with Cole Williams, all right, from Minnesota.
Oh, don't you know?
He's going to be trying to stay warm while doing the Rubik's Cube, so his hands stay limber and heated up and ready to cell bowl. This is your manual event, and you can move on to the automated event on the app. All right, so now we're going to talk semifinals.
Whoa.
I'm getting chills here.
Whoa,
I
I
got
am
my
too.
blanket,
It's not
we're
'cause
in
it's-
Minnesota and everything.
Yeah, don't worry, things are heating up. You won't need that blanket in a minute.
I might end up having to run around or something to.
Oh my gosh, the suspense.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Here's your top three. So in the semifinals, we saw University of Connecticut take it by very small margin.
wow.
So University of Connecticut had 21.22 seconds, followed by Nebraska. Woo!
Nebraska.
They stayed warm. They stayed hot on the field with 22.32 seconds. Go Southeast Community College. And then representing all those Ohioan, all those 9 Ohioan programs, we've got the
Ohio
University
programs.
of Cincinnati coming in right behind them, coming in hot with 24.26 seconds. These scores are insane. I cannot believe that they're doing them this quickly. I'm gonna throw down the gauntlet again, just to make sure that everybody hears it and knows that if you beat the 20 seconds, if you break 20 seconds, any of the top 2 teams going in, I will give you that hematology hero backpack. So you don't need a fanny pack anymore. I will get you a backpack. You can take the whole kitchen and the kitchen sink with you, so you don't have to worry about anything while you're going anywhere. All right, so touchdown!
Yeah.
University of Connecticut. Man, this is crazy.
Wow.
All
They're
right.
beating the Sysmex. They're automated. It's crazy.
Yeah. Just to let you know, I've had a poll out on Twitter and YouTube. Okay. And the poll was asking who was headed to the Supercell Bowl. And I did a lot of tweets since then, so I kind of have to find the poll. But everybody that voted actually seemed to have gotten it right. So we are looking at the top 2 moving into the Supercell Bowl. So let's see their journey to the Supercell Bowl.
Journey through the marrow. Walk us through the journey through the marrow.
I wasn't ready yet. I'm sorry. I forgot this slide was here. Okay.
Anticipation.
Whoops. So we've got the shakedown of the top 25. So if you were on the top 25 last year, you made it on the t-shirt, and these are who are making it on the t-shirt this year. All right. So we can visibly see who's in the top 25. So we were looking at who was in the top 6. So last week we identified the 3 that were in the bottom of the top 6. All right. We had in number 6, we had Montana State University. Woo, go Bobcats. Yeah. Bam. All right. Then we had California State University, Los Angeles with the Harry Sea Eagles. Woo.
Yeah.
You guys need to cheer. Come
Go,
on.
yes. America.
Followed by number 4, we had University of California, Irvine, Department of Pathology and Laboratory Medicine, CLS training program, the Anteaters.
I
Boom.
don't know what sound that
Keep
makes.
Slurpees away from them. All right, and now joining with them are the Bearcats,
The
University
Bearcats.
of Cincinnati.
Woo.
Woo! Go Bearcats. And
Yep.
I looked them up. It is not a mythical creature. That's a bearcat.
I didn't think it was a unicorn or something from Harry Potter, but yes, it's good to see what that. It's a bear.
I
Okay.
was so excited to learn about these. So they walk like a cat, but they have flat paws and walk.
Oh,
They flat paw it like a bear. So they're bearcats. They are, I think, bigger than your house cat.
Wow.
But yes, so the fearsome bearcats are in number 3. So that leaves us with dun dun
Whoa.
dun.
Whoa.
Who's making it to the Super Cell Bowl? All right, here we go. So we've got the Huskies, University of Connecticut
That's right.
versus Southeast Storm. The storm is coming. Ooh.
They're about to enter the eye of the storm.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't make it so
No, but I'm
so
from Florida.
intimidating when you're in the eye.
It's
Okay.
before the thunder. Lightning before the thunder.
So let's take a let's take a look at how these programs did during these last 6 weeks.
Okay.
All right. So in week 1, the Huskies were the first in the nation. They came on strong. They were the top in the nation on week 1 with 27.1 seconds. This is crazy. They were never even in the 30s. What?
No. No.
That's crazy. You can't 1 second, less than 1 second per cell.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
they were coming out mature right away.
Yeah, their bone marrow is awesome. They got strong bones. All
Yep.
right. So in week 2, they were 6th in the nation with 27.37 seconds. They went up a little bit and in their time. And so they didn't stay in the top 3. In week 3, they went up a little bit in the scoreboard with 3rd in the nation with 25.05 seconds. This is just incredible. They're constantly doing a great job. In week 4, this was the pinnacle of the regionals. They were 1st in the nation with 22.18 seconds. Following that, in week 5, last week, they were 1st in the nation with 21.31 seconds. And then this week, they topped off their final touchdown as 1st in the nation, again, with 21.22 seconds. I don't think they're leaving any room for error here or any room for improvement, because this looks physically impossible in order
hit a
to
stride,
make it
man.
past the score. What do you all think?
Oh man,
It's crazy.
It's
Yeah, every week they're just getting faster and faster. Just crank
Yeah.
up the jets there on week 2 and never look back.
Yeah. So the worst they've ever done is 6th in the nation. But that just goes to show you, you don't need to be number 1 every week to make it to the Super Cell Bowl.
Super Cell.
All right. So let's see how the Storm ranked the entire Cell Bowl so far. So in week 1, they were 10th in the nation with 37.51 seconds. That's still amazing.
I still think that's 10th in the nation.
That's way, but that's 21 seconds better than my score that you have to beat for the national or the global event. This is crazy. Oh man. Okay. And then in week 2, they stole 1st place from Huskies. And they were 1st in the nation with 25.45. Look at that jump. They shaved off more than 10 seconds just in that 1 week. I think they were practicing.
Yeah, they went back and reviewed the tape.
They
Yep.
did. They
They
looked at
reviewed
their
those diffs, regrouped.
And then in week week 3, they were 4th in the nation with 25.13 seconds. They were 4th in the nation with this amazing score. So look at how all our teams are doing. They're incredible. So week 3, these guys were neck and neck. Connecticut was 3rd with 25.05, and the Storm in the Midwest was 4th with 25.13. What?
Yeah, they were not playing during that morning run. They were getting those dips out.
Yeah, they were 0.08 seconds apart. That's crazy. I just, it's so hard to even tell you how close every single team in the top 10 of the nation throughout the weeks were. It was so crazy. In the 4th week, this is the pinnacle of regionals. Again, they were 4th in the nation with 24.48 seconds. So they were right on the Huskies' tail. Striking with their Storm in week 4. So that made them one of the top 2 in the Midwest, and they made it to the playoffs. So they were 2nd in the nation in week 5 with 23.29 seconds, like 2 seconds behind the number 1. That's how insanely close
like
these teams are.
1 finger cramp away from first place.
Right? Eat a lot of bananas. You all need some potassium. Don't cramp
potassium.
up.
Yep.
And then we have, in this week, they were 2nd place. And again, so close, 22.32 seconds. This is crazy. So 1 second away. It's
quite the journey from the marrow. Quite the journey. Quite the journey.
Alfonso, do you think you can beat these teams?
Oh my gosh, man. These teams are incredible. Are they human? They look like machines.
I don't know. I would really like to know what cyborg students we have, because this seems physically impossible.
Yeah, I think the phones were hooked up to the automated analyzers.
There you go. I think so too. Don't give them any ideas, Aaron, if they're not doing it already.
You're like 10 seconds. Oh my gosh.
We don't want auto release of results.
No.
All right. So the Huskies had 4 touchdowns during this entire event so far, and the Storm had 1 touchdown. Okay. So a touchdown is when you are first place. Okay. First place in the nation. And you can see the variation in where these teams were. They started out in 10th place in the nation and are the 2nd to highest score in the entire nation in the final dregs of this competition. So you cannot count yourself out if you don't start, with the most amazing score you've ever seen. These teams were not always number 1, and they're making it to the Supercell Bowl. That should give you some really great confidence and make you want to come back. The only thing is the scores are insane, so don't look at those.
Yeah, don't look at those scores.
I don't even know if I could make these scores. So
no, I couldn't make those scores.
I haven't even tried. When I started to see them get even past 50 seconds, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to try.
Yeah, that's why I'm a microbiologist. Gotta let it grow.
Yeah.
Nice and slow.
You're very cultured, Aaron.
Thank you.
All right, so they are Supercell Bowl bound, and we can't wait to see how they do next week. All right, so beautiful faces of the Huskies and beautiful faces of the Storm. Who is the most determined? We will find out next week. All right, so last year we were talking about the lymphocytes and plasma cells. This is last year's poster. We were talking about normal maturation throughout the life cycle of these cells, and in the bone marrow and the thymus, right? So the thing about lymphocytes are that they don't always mature in the bone marrow. So if they're B cells, they're maturing in the bone marrow, but if they're T cells, they're maturing in the thymus. which is extramedullary, right? So the lymphocytes are some fun cells, right? We get some really great immunity from them. We have T cells do cell-mediated immunity, whereas B cells get activated to be plasma cells, and they're the ones that make your antibodies. All right, so there's a lot more T cells than there are of B cells. Either one of them can have memory cells, which will be activated as soon as you see that antigen, the foreign antigen again, in your amnestic response. Oh, $4 word there.
Oh, fancy.
And so we alluded to conditions when you might see some scenarios where you don't have normal lymphocytes. And that is what we're talking about this week, okay, and this year. So this year's Cell Bowls tutorials are all about abnormalities of the cells we talked about last year. So I'm just going to give you a rundown of this poster real quick, and then Alfonso is going to take it away and give you some wonderful tips and opportunities to learn from the best from the bench. Okay, so we've got some great pictures here to talk about the different kinds of conditions and disorders. Our main goal is that we would like to make sure you understand how your peripheral blood smear cellularity is going to indicate or correlate, excuse me, with the CBC that you see. Ha ha ha. Okay. I'm making poems. I don't even realize it. So we want you to be able. What?
It's magical. I'm enjoying them.
Oh, thank you. It's fabulous. Okay, so we want you to be able to correlate your automated CBC results and your peripheral blood smear. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. So yeah, that's bad. We got Cesare right there, know when to fold them.
To refer to pathology if you got too many blasts.
So first of all, we're talking about and staying consistent with the types of conditions we talked about before. So when we were talking about myelogenous cell line abnormalities, we were talking about acute leukemias and then chronic leukemias also. And we were talking about how chronic end stage ends up leading into acute. And we're just going to kind of continue down that vein here. But this is where the rubber meets the road, because we've got a situation that I think students have a lot of concern with, because lymph is kind of confusing, I would say, because sometimes we call them leukemias and sometimes we call them lymphomas. And then we classify those lymphomas and it gets really crazy. And you're like, well, when do I call something a leukemia? And when do I call something a lymphoma? Well, we are here for you today, and we're going to tell you about that. So basically that differentiation is where the disorder is. So leukemia stays within the bone marrow, just like the other ones that we've seen. Like CML and AML, right? And a lymphoma would be in the lymphatics, right? So extramedullary, you can end up seeing growths within the lymphatics. So you might actually see some kind of mass, all right? And that seems a little more like cancer that the community knows about already, because when we talk about cancer, we're talking about the constant division of cells. They don't, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, where the turn off switch is not there anymore. That tyrosine kinase, has to deal with apoptosis and proliferation and everything. And you're getting the same kind of thing here. There's something wrong with the genetics of the genes or the chromosomes that is causing the genetic coded area that says, hey, you need to stop dividing or you need to mature in a certain way, those get damaged somehow or changed. And that's why you see what you're seeing here. Okay, we talked about the WHO and FAB classifications last time as well, last week. And we're just going to see a little bit of a difference here, where we've got a different type of patient population. And you know, we're talking about children this time as well, and some different classifications. So I hope that's a really good overview, and Alfonso's going to go ahead and take it away. And are you ready, Alfonso?
Ready as a real bee.
Yeah, it's a lot to cover. So I have, I guess I should have explained the poster a little bit better. We've got acute lymphoblastic leukemia over here, and then the subcategories are here as well. Okay, so we've got B in the headache, B lymphoblastic leukemia, lymphoma. So just like the other categories with myelogenous, you can end up having some crossing over of types of disorders. So with this one, you can have involvement of both the lymphatics and the bone marrow. So that's why we've got this nomenclature here. That's for the students. That's not for Alfonso. That's for the students watching. And then we've got T. So I spread them into two different sections. So we've got B, and then we've got T, lymphoblastic. All right. And then we go to the mature lymphoid neoplasms, and that's your lymphoproliferative disorders. And we've got leukemias and then lymphomas down here. All right. Down here, I'm sorry, I was trying to zoom in. Down here in the blue, we have the non-Hodgkin's lymphomas. This is just a few of them. There are many. And then we've got Hodgkin's lymphoma. So that's why there's a different color there. I felt like I should have explained that earlier before we started filming. Okay, so Alfonso, take it away.
All right, let me do my best I can here. So, of course, you know, before I began and stuff, you know, I was with my kids, and you know, we're trying to find something to do with them and stuff. And then, of course, you know, they get bored and, you know, start putting on a show. So one of the things, because you mentioned about the normal lymphocytes, and I just want to mention is, like, you know, one of the things that my kids loved a lot is watching the episode on Storybots of the you know, like of you know, catching a cold and then what your body does. And I think it explained the lymphocyte role so well to my kids. Like, you know, what you had in the first slide, in the prior slide, you know, like, you know, having the helper T cells activate the B cells, you just see that in these episodes and stuff. And it just made it so understandable to them and stuff, and just made you know, the point of, you know, hand washing, which is like, you know, microbiology, or anywhere we go, you know, we should always be like doing all the hand washing to avoid getting sick, avoid getting all these viruses and so, right? And so with that being said, of course, you know, we come to, you know, these disorders in which, you know, what happens when these cells don't work the way they're supposed to. Of course, you know, we have them in two different types of categories here. You know, of course, we'll start with the acute lymphoblastic leukemia, which is a type of cancer of the blood and bone marrow that develops in the white blood cells from, of course, you know, we call them the lymphocytes, or from lymphoblasts, which is the immature type of lymphocyte. And you know, the condition can affect the different types of lymphocytes, which is like your B cells and T cells, like Tiffany mentioned and stuff. And then, of course, in ALL, most commonly you see the B cell subtype in kids, as opposed to, like, you know, more like adults or so, like that, because, you know, it's mostly rare. You'll have to have like there's other genetic disorders that are associated with that. But yeah, this is most commonly seen in like childhood cancers, usually between the ages of like, I don't know, 2 to 5. And then of course, it occurs when, like Tiffany mentioned, is like that is true that, there's a genetic mutation that's triggered in the bone marrow that pretty much, it starts putting out all these cells, and they start dividing where they normally, stop dividing, and then they eventually die. Of course, that what eventually ends up happening is that these abnormal cells end up, taking over pretty much the bloodstream or the bloodline and stuff, and then making it pretty much impossible for the rest of the cells to grow and stuff. And then, pretty much they're unable to function appropriately. In some of the cases, these risk factors that we see from ALL, of course, occur again with genetic disorders, such as Down syndrome, Lee-Freeman syndrome, and neurofibromatosis. And of course, you also have some of your environmental factors in which, can occur due to exposures of benzenes, chemotherapy drugs, or detergents, or paint strippers or so. In ALL, of course, we define acute leukemia as having this, as having the acute portion, as that portion meaning that greater than 20% blast. Oh, sorry. There we go. As having that greater than 20% blast, and this portion of the ALL, of course, this occurs in a section of that that if we go to that lymphopoiesis thing, it occurs mostly in that lymphoid progenitor cell section. That pretty much this is where we're starting to see all the abnormalities, or where they start to begin. And of course, to recognize these abnormalities, I mean, you do have to do a lot of testing, in particular, we like to do in our facility flow cytometry testing. Of course, in addition, do some genetic testing as well, right? But one of the proteins, or one of the what's it called, markers that we test for to determine is hey, first of all, is it lymphoblastic or not, is we test for TDT. Of course, TDT, as you know, it's you'll find that mostly in the lymphoblast, and this is more just so the folks in the students have this for knowledge of course, you find TDT in lymphoblast and not the mature lymphocytes. So if because if you go back to that lineage, of course, it's just in that beginning portion of when they start spitting these things out. So that's why it's in the lymphoblastic stages that you're going to find TDT, and not so much in the mature stages. And you won't find TDT in any of the other cells. So that's one key way to remember that. Of course, I like to use acronyms you say acute lymphoblastic leukemia. I kind of equate that in my head as equivalent to total. So I always affiliate that as to total, TDT. I know you kind of total.
Oh, nice.
TDT. So that's a way of remembering. It's hey, you know what, is it does it have TDT? Is it TDT positive? Okay, we're looking at a lymphoblastic leukemia stage, of course, right? And then of course, you start doing, that's just one of the first portions to determine is it's lymphoblastic or not, or lymphoblastic versus lymphocytic, I should say. And of course, once you determine it's lymphoblastic, of course, you have those two subtypes, where you're looking at was it B-cell lymphoblastic, or is it T-cell lymphoblastic? And they both express two different markers and genetic disorders that pretty much that you want to pretty much take a look at. Of course, in B-cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia, you usually see the translocation of the chromosomes of 12 and 21, which are common in children. And or you could see a translocation of the 9 and 22 chromosomes, which is more so this is your Philadelphia chromosomes, which is a little bit more dangerous, and you'll find this mostly in adults. This one's a little bit more rare than all the other ones. Of course, B-cell blast, of course, in the testing portion of it, you know, in addition to TT, you're looking for the CD markers. Usually the CD markers that are mostly important are like CD19, CD20, CD10, in which, you know, you test for these. Of course, we tested these in our facility, and, you know, that determines it's like, if it's in addition to TDT, we're looking at one of those you know, B-cell lymphoblastic lymphomas. And then, of course, the other thing is, you know, the history behind the patient, of course, taking a look at where this is deriving from. Of course, B-ALL is mostly like, you know, you're looking at, you know, it's affecting like the meninges or the testes, and those things and stuff. And this is where you kind of associated B-A-L-A-L-L, mostly like I do the tendency of thinking, okay, B for brain and stuff. And then, of course, you know, you'd think about your testes, I guess, ball. You know, it's I don't know. You know, it's just one of those things. It's like, you know, it's easier to remember those things, you know, and what's it called? But you look at those, and because you know, chemotherapy works well for it and stuff, you know, but it's prone to metastasize in those areas, you know. So because of the blood barriers that it has, so in some cases, I mean, chemotherapy may not reach those areas because they have to do because of these blood barriers. So they'll have to do like direct injections to those affected areas, in which have these what's it called, blood barriers. In T-cell type ALL, of course, you know, you have your T lymphoblast, and I think like T for thymus, T for teenager, because those are the ones that you usually find them in. You know, and it's usually associated with like a respiratory like difficulty due to thymic mass. And what you'll notice is like, yes, this does have a TDT, but you'll also notice that it's missing the markers that the B-cell lymphoblastic lymphoma has, which is so it would be like negative for CD19, 20, or 10, but it would have like CD2 through 8, those things, you know. But anything you guys like to add on that?
I don't think we can top what you said about the testes. When you were going to pee, I was like, I don't know what he's gonna say here.
But you're gonna remember. You're gonna remember. That's the thing.
Like, man,
how to remember these things.
Cell bowl.
Wow. So, we definitely have the comedy on our show, I'll tell you that.
I'll play you off.
And it's true though, the way you spelled it out. I mean, B-A-L-L. So, you know, that really does work. It's not a bad idea. I just was not expecting that. So here's a picture of B-A-L-L, and this one is the Philadelphia chromosome positive, or chromosome like, and you can even see, so when you have Philadelphia chromosome, you usually get the smudge cells, because the lymphocytes get so fragile that when they get spread across the cell, spread across the slide, when you're moving them through capillary action, they kind of smudge, and they look like they just exploded or went splat, you know, like they fell from a gigantic building and went splat and got run over. So you can kind of see that right there in between those blasts there. Did you want to talk about the picture at all, Alfonso?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, the blast. Yeah.
I'm crying over here. I'm laughing so hard.
Very touching.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Oh
my
goodness.
I mean, this is a nice picture of a blast in the BALL. You know, one of the things you know, you'll notice is you know, the nucleoli. You know, it's just so defined of you know, as when you compare it to your normal lymphocytes here and stuff. But definitely, this is our, one of the other things is what's it called? And this is more like going into some of the other disorders as well. As you'll notice, like an example, like I see this mostly like in CLL, that we have like smudge cells in our smears, and usually for these ones and stuff, and it's like for some of the like our rookie techs, who work in heme, that come in our system and stuff, that we'll start preparing our smears the normal way that we're supposed to prepare them, and then all of a sudden you just see a bunch of smudges everywhere, and they're like, well, I can't do like I can't diff it, but you start seeing all these abnormalities, like, no, well, let's use a little bit of albumin, so that we can have the cell, so we can view the cell a little bit better, and you'll notice that that'll just be like a quick fix, so that we can determine what these cells are to differentiate them.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't count those out. It's not a skip a cell. It's you need to mention those, because that's honestly a real diagnostic indicator about the Philadelphia chromosome possibly being there, indicating either one of those. So you kind of have to look at what the cell looks like too. But yeah, I'm really glad you mentioned that, because if anybody doesn't know what skip a cell is, it's when you're doing a count, or you come across something and you have no idea what it is. I didn't hear about this until I was in school, and they're like, oh yeah, skip a cell. I was like, what is that? And they're like, you don't know what it is, so you skip it. That's really bad. Don't do that. Don't do that. Especially if you have lots of skipper cells, there's a problem there.
Yeah. You're skipping a lot. That's a problem there.
We're getting done pretty quick, right?
Yeah. So you either messed it up when you were making it, or there is a pathologic process there. Ask somebody for help. When you get to that point, you see all these skipper cells, you ask somebody for help. Don't be afraid.
Houston, there's a problem. Houston, there is a problem.
There is a problem.
Go get Alfonso.
Yeah, go get Alfonso. He's in Texas. Call him up.
He is.
Texas, I know, right?
So do you want to head on over to the mature side? Because I think we've been a little immature today.
Yeah, a little immature. Yeah. What's it called? Yeah. So what's it called? These mature lymphoid neoplasms. Of course, these are lymphoproliferative disorders characterized by the primary site of the disease. I don't know, Tiffany, did you want to comment on these ones a little bit? Or...
Oh, not really. I mean, I'm just trying to help you by pointing.
Oh, okay.
Because when I'm never sure where you're going to talk, so I'm trying to follow along with you, and you said locations, so I was like, oh, right here, okay.
I got this.
Do you want me to talk about it?
Yeah. What's it called? Yeah, this one. What's it called? I didn't.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, so if you're looking at, there is some interaction between these different locations. When you have a leukemia, obviously the base of it is in the bone marrow, as we have right here. When you have a lymphoma, it's extramedullary, so you're outside of the bone marrow, and you're in these other secondary locations where there is cell production and or maturation. So we're looking at the lymph nodes and the spleen. So if you're looking down here, this is a picture that talks about the staging of Hodgkin and non-Hodgkin lymphomas. And it's basically breaking it down to where, what of the areas or lymph nodes are involved, or what organs are involved too. So if you have production and maturation and division of these abnormal cells, and they're massing in multiple areas, that's going to move you up in stages of where you are within the condition. So you can read that all right here. And this is where you can see those, the mass from the side of your neck, because you have a lot of lymph right here. I did not put a picture of where all your lymph nodes are. But if you've done biochem even as well, I'm thinking of my class, you see that lymph is also branched out and intermingled with the liver here. So you see that as well, that there is liver involvement. There is involvement in the spleen as well. And you know about how the macrophages are there and they're like airport security in these two organs, but same thing with lymph. Lymph is traveling there as well. So that's how you get that staging. When we were talking about the prognosis over here, I think I stated them in worst prognosis to best prognosis. Prognosis means when you're recovering or recuperating or continuing on with treatment. The worst case scenario is the worst prognosis, where there may continue to be a problem and or be fatal, versus the best prognosis being that you recover easily and you can live a long, healthy life afterwards. So I think I did the same kind of thing over here as well with these conditions, where when you see the patient population and the different expression of the cells, I think I either did it up there or it was mainly down here. Or it could have been over there. I don't remember now. I don't know. I'm having a post-concussion moment right now. But we've got 75 different conditions that are in adults. I did not list all of those. I kind of just put the ones on here that are very conducive of what you normally hear about and might be on the BOC, like your main 5 or whatnot. These posters are not big enough to have all of them. Just as with the acute situation, you have symptoms that are related to the different cellularity that you're seeing or missing. So you have fever, weight loss, night sweats, and adenopathy here. They're not always as I want to say targeted, but that's not the best word. Where what you're seeing is not as defined. When you come in, the patient, the clinical presentation is not as defined as what you may see maybe with the acute. With these, you have something that might seem a little ambiguous. So we have to do digging, right? You have to look at the morphology of the cells, look at flow, as Alfonso was saying, in immunohistochemistry. So here we've got some of that genetic, the genetic markers that we're looking at here, and anything that's peripheral blood smear that might be worth noting. So your B cells are going to be large or smaller and more mature than what you would have seen in the ALLs. You have a weak expression of these clusters of differentiation. These are just antigens that are on the cell membrane of the cells, and immunoglobulins there as well. And you may have absence or weak expression of CD22, which we were mentioning over here as well, up here, that they all display these cytoplasmic CD22s over here with the BALLs, the balls. Just gonna say it because you said it. And then with prolymphocytic leukemia, you have the translocation of 8 and 14 chromosomes, and there was some really good information that I didn't include here, just because I was running out of room. I think you can tell that. But when you're looking at these genes, the different genes that they're really focusing on are common ones that are dealing with certain aspects of the cellular maturation or cellular proliferation or apoptosis. So in the myelogenous, you saw the tyrosine kinase related genes, and these ones have to deal with something similar where you are making it so that the area that turns them off are not, or has them have higher maturity, is not is either not turned on or is not turned off. So proliferation would be not turned off, and then maturation is affected as well, because you have asynchrony of maturation of the cytoplasm and the nucleus. With hairy cell, so our hairy cell eagles, you know, hairy sea eagles team that we had, I had to include this for them because one of their teammates is a hairy cell. So that's their favorite that they put on here. But you have these projections that you can better see over here from the cytoplasm. And obviously that is not normal, but that has to deal with the alterations that they have in their genetic material. So we have bone marrow fibrosis that is very common at certain stages. So if you see that, you're going to start to see more of these cells, and that's a huge indication of where you should be headed in your diagnostic journey. Then down here with the lymphomas, again, this is extramedullary, and that's why it's lymphoma and not leukemia. So we often have where there is a need for a biopsy of the lymphatic area, and you would end up seeing particular cells that might indicate a specific kind of condition. So the one that I'm really referring to is Hodgkin lymphoma, where you have the Sternberg cells. If you are on Path Twitter, or if you are following any pathologists on Twitter, you see these cells, they post them up there and they're like, okay, go. And everybody's like, Sternberg cells. They look like they're double nucleated. I was going to put them on here too, but I'm like, I'm running out of room for references. I'm running out of room for information. So with those, they're the cells within the tissue, and they look like owl eyes, you know, like these two big owl eyes in the tissue cells. So when you're looking at the biopsies, which MLT and MLS students wouldn't really be doing, but if you ever get to see that type of biopsy, you could look for those owl eyes, and it's very indicative of Hodgkin lymphoma. We have these other translocations that you see here. I'm trying not to be too specific, just because we have very similar ones on here and we're running out of time. But you can see them listed here. You see Sézary cell is that brain looking folded nucleus of the T cell. And let's see. I didn't put the adult T-cell leukemia lymphoma on there either, and Burkitt's I didn't put either. So I tried to give a good mix. Hairy cell was the B cells, and then Hodgkin's was the B cells as well. Trying to put all the B cells together. CLL were B cells as well. And then pro-lymphocytic leukemia could be T or B. And then if you if you notice which ones are T's versus B's when you're studying for your boards or you're studying for class, or just trying to identify the different type of case study that you're doing. If you identify if it's T or B, that should help indicate which of the CD markers you're going to be looking at, what type of effect that would have on immunity, because they have different roles, as Alfonso was saying. T cell is cell mediated, whereas B cell, you would have a situation with the immunoglobulins, right? So you can have multiple myeloma, that's with B cells too, right? I didn't list that on here. But you can end up finding what kind of heavy chains or light chains you'll be seeing with that type of change. Okay, so if you're able to identify or categorize these different types of conditions with B or T, that should help you identify what you should be seeing in the lab and how it would look as well, a little bit anyway. Do you have anything to add, Alfonso?
Definitely, like a lot of these, I mean, it's a like high level overview and stuff, but all these CD markers are usually, I mean, we use flow cytometry to differentiate the various types of leukemias and lymphomas. Definitely, I mean, it really does help having that. Of course, you know, like, I mean, going back to the, you know, I guess in one of the, in the earlier portion of the slide where we have the FAB classification, as you know, we don't use a whole lot of like we're able to identify them like morphologically, but we don't use that as a sole source of just trying to differentiate all these different types of leukemias. Of course, now we're going with the WHO classifications because, you know, that they incorporate immunophenotyping and genetics to, you know, to differentiate all these. So definitely, I mean, it really does help having the flow cytometry, not just for lymphoblastic, lymphocytic leukemias, but all other leukemias that we have in our cell lineages, just to make the accurate diagnosis.
Yep. And with most of these, you're seeing adults versus children. And you would think that in children you wouldn't have that great of a prognosis, but we have gotten so much better as time has gone on with diagnosis and treatment. So children tend to do very well. Infants not so much, but children, a little bit older children, they can really bounce back and live full lives. So that's really encouraging to all you parents out there. Alfonso and I can't even imagine having this situation in my family. It's so sad. But at the same time, it's encouraging to know that we're doing better with diagnosis and treatment. And, children are very resilient, and that's very encouraging to me. I've had students that had BALL, and, the things that they've been talking about of, what they experienced going through the treatments, that was like 20 years ago. And to know that now we have even better opportunities to heal and not have the leukemia brain, or the chemotherapy brain that you get after that, is very encouraging that we're doing better. So I'm really thankful for our field and all the progression that we've done to help people. So really thank you for bringing your expertise and talking about this. It can be very sensitive conversation depending on what you're talking about. But thank you. Anything else you wanted to add before we move on?
No.
All right. So here, even though we had three teams in the semifinals, We only got 2 selfies for the week. And they happen to be the 2 teams that are going to the Super Cell Bowl. So yay! The Storm is bringing it in the lab, right? And the Huskies are keeping warm. And they are ready to roll for next week. So we are so excited to see how you all do. And any
Like there's
Zelda
Zelda
fan.
right there.
Zelda,
Yeah.
I saw that.
You know, we're all nerds here, right? So
We are.
anything you want to say in closing, either of you?
Oh, well, thank you very much, all the programs that are out there that are participating in the Cell Bowl. And you guys are truly, you know, you guys truly make a difference in our lab profession, in in pretty much all of our patients. And we know pretty much you guys are the future. And pretty much we just want to give you a big thank you with Thanksgiving coming up. Happy Thanksgiving to all you guys.
How about you, Aaron? Anything?
That was well said. Great job, teams, and can't wait to see who takes the trophy, who takes the Gill trophy. Yeah.
So I have some information about that. Not bad news.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Do you really mean don't say anything?
Oh no, you can say something. I thought you were going to give something away about the.
Oh, no.
Okay.
So we do have some surprises coming. But what I wanted to talk about is just the trophy. So we did investigate the trophy, and we are going to have a really great trophy that looks similar to what the graphic is, but it's not going to be exactly, because making that trophy was a whole lot of money and pain and effort. It was very hard for the trophy company to design it and make it. So we're going to have something kind of similar that's going to have the same kind of elements, but not stacked the same way. As I know, we wanted the one that looks like the NFL trophy, but it's going to have the same kind of elements, just not presented in the same way. But it should be really great. So we're working with ASCP on that. We're very thankful to have a Cell Bowl specific trophy. So it will be similar. It just will not be the exact same. Okay. I'm sad about that, but I'm also glad that we can get something similar. So thank you, ASCP.
It'll be amazing. Yeah.
Yes, and you all will have a really great trophy, certificates. We're going to talk next week about what you get when you win. So certificates, you're going to be on Elaborate Topics podcast with some of our Cell Bowl work group team. And Aaron and I just had a great conversation with them on Friday, which will air soon.
Yes.
Aaron, do you know when it's airing?
I'm not entirely sure, but
okay. It's always on a Tuesday.
Yeah, you get to talk to that laboratory press, and they're the top-notch press in the lab field.
So you will be on Elaborate Topics. Alfonso is very great friends with Stephanie Whitehead, who is one of our group and also a friend network for him. We have, you want to say anything nice about Stephanie?
Oh no, she is completely awesome. Of course, she'll probably say like, "Yeah, I already know that." That's good. No, she's really great. She's very knowledgeable about the lab and all the field, and she does a really great job in making sure everyone gets all the resources that they need, and likes to keep everyone informed.
Yes, she is really great, and she was part of ASCP 40 under 40 2022. Woo! So congratulations, Stephanie. Yeah. And then there's Taiwana Wilson, and she is known as Coach T Wilson, not Cell Bowl coach. She is a career coach. So she is part of the Elaborate Topics broadcast team. And then there is also Lona Small. Both of them also, both of the last two ladies also have other podcasts that they do as well. And you've seen Erin on Lona Small's different podcasts, as
for
well
Lab
as
Expo.
Coach T. Wilson's what did you call that? The series, the lab leadership series, right?
The Leadership Standout series, yep. So they are everywhere. So
They are.
you guys will be everywhere with them too.
Yes. And you'll get to have a in-person, hopefully live for real again, interview with myself. It did not work out the way I expected it to last year because I did not set it up correctly, apparently. I thought I did, but I didn't. So you'll have opportunities to ask the the winning teams questions about their rise to fame. How do they cell bowl the way they do? And all that great stuff. So we are looking forward to sharing those wonderful interviews with you on Elaborate Topics podcast and on my channel, Medical Lab Lady Gill YouTube channel. Each of the winning team members will get a certificate as well to show that they are labulous, haha. And then the winning team also gets access to the interactive ASCP Board of Certification exam to prepare them for their Board of Certification, the real one. So we are so excited to share all that wonderful news and prizes with you next week. So tune in next week. Don't miss a second of the Cell Bowl. Always review. So we have the playlist for 2021 and 2022 available to you on the Medical Lab Lady Gill YouTube channel. And if you are studying for your boards, go back, look at the tutorials, be ready, watch Alfonso, be awesome. And we will catch you next time at the Super Cell Bowl. Don't forget to bring your cheer gear, your labulousness, and a lot of enthusiasm. So we'll see you next time. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video or the Cell Bowl, like and subscribe to this YouTube channel so you will never miss a second of the action. All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.